Tips to prepare for tax season. And we really appreciate you watching this video.
Yep.
Leo
Let's,
Laveza, he's the charge of tax admin along with Alex Albenzi. So, Leo, what we got here? What are the tips we're going to share?
well, I mean, the first thing to start is what do you need to do to get ready?
Gathering the tax documents.
Oh, that's important.
Go ahead.
Yep. We want to gather the tax documents, get them all together. We want you to prepare the tax questionnaire. As Drew will tell you, preparing the returns is so much easier when that questionnaire is filled out because all the
It's
information you need
it's
is,
really mandatory,
yeah.
right? Let's
Yep.
not act like it's optional. It's not that difficult, right? You
Nope.
send an email, it's a survey. We're going to go
Exactly.
through that, right?
We're not in this video, but
Okay, well, they get the
yep,
survey, and all they got to do is just answer the questions
exactly. 10 minutes tops, hopefully.
at the most. And
Yep.
it puts us in a better position to make sure your return is right.
Exactly. Yep. And that's our goal, is to make sure we do it right the first time.
Anyway, sign
Yep.
your engagement letter.
That's right. And this year, we actually have the option to sign it digitally. So everyone will get an email from it's called notifications at assuresign.com. But everyone will get an email to electronically sign your engagement letter if you want to do so. Again, we just really need that signed, and if you can sign it digitally, it makes it easier.
The CPAs require us to have it signed.
Yep.
So, it's just something we have to do. So please make sure you sign that engagement letter as well as do your questionnaire. Gather your documents as quickly as possible. And then the last, go ahead.
This is the easiest one, is send us the documents, whether you're uploading them to your client portal, which is the preferred method, or mailing them or dropping them off at the office, sending us the documents, and preferably doing it when you've got all of them together. It's a little tough to do the return sometimes when we get them piecemeal. So the most you can give us at once makes the process 10 times easier.
But get them together as soon as possible and get them to us, because we have a hard cutoff on April 15th.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So if I've got things that I can do to help you lower your taxes, I only have until April 15th to do it.
Yep.
That's number one. Number two, if we can't get your return prepared by April 15th, because we got to put it on extension, I have until April 15th to pay those taxes that I assume we're going to owe, but I can't make that right assumption unless you get me your documents before April 15th, well before April 15th, so we can do an estimate, and then you won't owe interest penalties. And that's what we're trying to avoid. I don't want you to pay any interest penalties. So get us the documents as soon as possible, because it's going to help you, but it also helps us. We're under a lot of pressure, Leo.
Yep.
Well, I enjoy it almost, but we're under a lot of pressure between February 15th and April 15th. You realize I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and finish looking at tax returns 6 o'clock for 2 months.
Yep. I get your emails at 3 o'clock in the morning.
And I even do that 3 o'clock until about 9 or 10 on Saturday and Sunday in addition. So
yep.
We don't like to do this, but you can help us to make it as efficient as possible by getting your documents to us as quickly as possible. So we really appreciate that. You're really going to help us tremendously.
Yep. And then, the question is, talking about getting the forms together, when should you expect them? So, every year, late January, that's when your W-2s, the 1099, interest, dividends, if you have retirement account distributions, all those, usually late January, early February, you should be getting those in the mail or electronically. So you want to make sure you're looking in both spots for those. And then mid-February is when, the most important document comes out, and that's that composite 1099. So if you have that taxable brokerage account, that's that document that we need to actually finalize the tax return.
Let me do the next one.
You go ahead.
Okay. So you may get a corrected 1099 in March or April even. I've even seen some occasionally come in September.
We have, yep.
Corrected 1099 from the brokerage firm. And people get mad when that happens. Oh, what I got it corrected. Why did I get it corrected? Let me explain. There's a lot of complications in the tax laws now. And when the law says that they have to get the 1099s out by mid-February, Okay, so the brokerage firms all get them out. And then with the best numbers they have. And then the mutual funds and so forth have the right to come back and say, hey, what we gave you wasn't 100% accurate because we didn't have all our information. We have to correct this or correct that. And then the brokerage firm has to send you a corrected. And it's only because the federal government insists that the returns be done by April 15th and that these reports are done by mid-February. We want to be mad at somebody, be mad at the government, because we should have until the end of June to file your tax return, not mid-April. And they should require the brokerage firms to have these documents to us by mid-April, not mid-February. And that would eliminate corrections and eliminate the pressure, et cetera, et cetera. But government doesn't do that. You know why they don't do it? It's all because of budgeting things. If they move the tax return from mid-April to late June, their budget would really go through the roof. And they don't want that. So they just stick with the charade of what we have, and we have to work with it. So anyway, what's next?
Just running through some of the important filing dates for the year. So the first one, if you haven't made your fourth quarter estimated tax payment for tax year 24, that is due on January the 15th. So you haven't done that, make sure you do that now.
Well, let's just mention that a lot of people see a January 2025 check going out, and then when they do their 25 return, they assume that that's for 2025. Or they did the January 2024 check and they assume that's for 24. The January check is for the year before.
Exactly.
So January 25 is for your 2024 tax return. So anyway, I just want to make that clear.
Yeah, we've run into that problem a couple of times.
We do run into that.
Then the next one is March 15th. That's sort of the first big deadline. That's when partnership and S Corp returns are due. And the reason they're due on March 15th is so you've got a month from the K1s to get your personal returns done. And then really the biggest date, the one that we talk about the most often, is April 15th. And that's when your actual tax return is due. Trust or corporate tax returns are due then as well.
Unless we put it on extension.
Exactly.
If we put it on extension, then we have until October 15th to do it.
Yep.
But I still have to do it. I'd still have to do an accurate estimate so that we avoid penalties. That's why we want your information as soon as possible.
Yep.
And then your first quarter estimate for 2025 is due April 15th.
Correct. So two big things going on April 15th.
Now, we say the 15th, but holidays could move it to the 16th or even the 17th occasionally. We didn't look it up specifically as to what, but let's just use April 15th as the date. June 15th is your second quarter. September 15th is your third quarter.
Correct.
So those are your 3 quarters. And then, like we just said, January of 2026 will be the final quarter for 2025. So always keep that in mind, that January is for the year before. But we have one other quirky one. That's July 31st.
Correct. That is when any employee benefit tax returns are due. So that's that Form 5500. We have some clients that, we usually try to get them done January, February, but we technically have until July to get those done.
Those are for people that have single employee 401k plans. It's not a lot of our clients, maybe 20, 25 clients, something like that. So not a lot of you are going to have to worry about that July 3rd, but we're going to be in touch with you if you have to. So
exactly.
And then October 15th is for extensions. All right.
It's the one date we didn't put on there. So.
That's right. We didn't put that on there
because we don't like extensions, but that's all right. So then the question is, what do you do when the return's done? So just like every year in the past, you're going to get an email from a member of our tax team kind of labeling out all the different steps you need to do. The biggest thing is review your return and make sure that, our job is to kind of put the numbers in there, but your job is to double check, make sure we're not missing any major income you've had for the year or anything like that. This one is incredibly important, and that is reviewing the instruction letter that actually comes with your tax return. Because that letter's got really important information about payments that are due. If you've got estimated tax payments, those amounts are in there as well. And, if you don't read that letter, you could miss one of those important payments that Drew was just talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then sign your e-file forms. So that's something that if you're coming in person, you can do it signed by hand, or a lot of our clients do it digitally now. You can sign electronically those e-file forms, but we do need those to file your return. And then lastly, we ask you to pay us your tax prep fee. So you'll get and in a link through QuickBooks, you can pay the fee online with your credit card. You can drop off a check at the office, but however you do it.
That's really the wisest way to do it is
Yep.
with credit card.
Yep.
I mean, it's not great for us because we have to pay the fee, but it's great for our clients because it's simple, it's easy, and they get the points for doing it. So why not?
Exactly. If you can get cash back for for some bills, why not do it?
Yeah, I would do it. I would never give somebody a check if they give me the option to use a credit card. So
Exactly.
so that's the easy way to pay that bill. And when they do that, then they're all done, right?
Exactly. That's it. Your tax return is finished.
Yeah, well, again, tax preparation is really difficult on us. And it's the best we can do to help you is to make sure that we don't have that immense amount of pressure on us during that 2-month period of time. And the way you can help us with that is just get your documents to us as soon as possible. And here's another thing, Leo. A lot of clients will give us their itemized deductions, and they'll give us medical bills, and they'll give us charity, and they'll give us things like that. And what they'll do is they'll have marks, handwritten marks all over pieces of paper. And we got to kind of follow the dots and figure out what the heck are they telling us.
Yep.
And what really can help us tremendously is if you give us a total of what you feel your total medical bills are. Give us a total of your charities and what you feel your charities are, cash and credit card first, and then non-cash. Give us a total. Don't just give us mishmash of stuff and expect us to try to sort through it and figure out exactly what is that client telling us. Right. Total it for us and try to do it in a typewritten form, not a handwritten form. It's possible. Look, if you're going to give it to us handwritten, we're going to work with it, okay? But you can help us tremendously by totaling things. And we only need supporting documents for charity, okay? I don't need the supporting document for your medical bills. You keep those in your records. If you tell us the total is 20,000, we're going to take that 20,000. You could tell us that prescriptions were 1,000, premiums were 5,000, doctor's bills were 1,000, nursing home was something. You can give us those kind of totals. But we don't need all the bills.
Right.
We just need the actual tax forms, like the mortgage, the 1098 MORT. Yep. We need the, like if you had long-term care payments coming in, there's a 1099 LTC or 1099 LTC, right? So, we need the tax forms. We need your totals. Charity is the only one we need the supporting receipts to, okay? So keep that in mind. But totaling things, and so that we don't have to try to hunt and peck and figure out what exactly are you trying to tell us.
Exactly. Yeah. Anything to help us get them out a little quicker to you. That's what we're going for.
We appreciate that tremendously. Leo, great job. And you always, if you're using the client portal, they can call the office. Krista can help. Leo can help. Alex can help. Alec can help. Anyone can help. Drew probably is not the best person to ask that. Come on.
You can give it a shot. I just don't know if you're going to get through.
Well, they get through, but I don't know that I'll be able to help them with the portal, So anyway, great. We look forward to doing your tax return and do the best we can to bring your tax liability down as the law allows. That's the key. Whatever the law allows, and the less crunch we're under, the more opportunity we have to really spend the time to think about, is there something else this client can do? Exactly. Not only for this year, Leo, but for next year too. We're constantly thinking about next year too. Most people don't understand how many preparers just prepare the return.
Yep.
We don't like that. We want to figure out how do we lower your tax bill legally now and thinking it out for next year. The best way we can do that is to not be under a tremendous amount of pressure because we have to figure out what your numbers are saying. We're waiting for you to get your documents to us or something of that sort. So help us help you.
Yep. And welcome to tax season.
Thank you. This is Drew Tignanelli saying God bless.